now.
Hi, friends.
Hello, people. Happy
As,
Monday
okay.
morning.
As you notice, we are not scrambling to share anything anywhere.
Yes,
That's because it
this
is currently
recording
Thursday
is
afternoon.
Thursday. Yes, and
Thursday afternoon in Middle America and Thursday morning on the West
West Coast.
Coast.
Yes, yes.
I'm
And
almost done
so
eating. Yeah.
we are here to talk to you about something that my brother OG Grayskull mentioned. See how we listen to what y'all say. And he said something that we want to expand on. What we don't repair, we will repeat. Wow. What does that mean?
So, um, the reason I pulled this out to extrapolate on is because it's one of my nerdy places. Um, I actually got into the work that I do because of a pattern. I looked at my mom, who was telling me for the 3 millionth time about how, or maybe she was telling somebody else, about how the time she was 8 months pregnant with me, my dad cheated on her. So she broke up with his lying, cheating ass. And by the time she was 8 months pregnant with my brother, who would have been an Irish twin with me if he had decided to live, but he left me, a little nightmare. Um, his dad had cheated on her, so she broke up with his lying, cheating ass, got her tubes tied, so she didn't have a bunch of babies by a bunch of dudes who were lying and cheating. And in that moment, at 12 years old, I realized it's you, mom. My mom is the common denominator in this lie to me, cheat on me pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided in that moment, apparently, to spend 15 years with my first husband, because that's how this decision turned out. I decided not to have a bunch of babies with a bunch of dudes, 3 babies, 1 dude, and to get the lie to me, cheat on me sticker off of my forehead rather than continuing. My mom thought the men were the problem. My mom didn't realize that she was the writer of that script.
Right.
And so I haven't been cheated on since my first husband. And when I found the belief in my system that was attracting that,
Mm-hmm.
he stopped lying to me too. I got a little bit of whiplash because this is a man who told a ridiculous lie for 7 years.
Oh my.
I was like, we all know you're lying. The world knows that you're lying. Why? And 7 years later, he was like, okay, I lied about that. Do you feel better now? So we went from that experience where he would just lie because he was breathing and his mouth was moving to I'm in a conversation with him. We're arguing about something. I know he's lying to me, and I am tempted, really tempted to turn into the person who is like, let me catch you in this lie because I know you're lying to me because I like being right too. I took a breath and I was like, I don't fucking care. He's not my problem anymore. We were separated and I was sure I was done. And then in the moment of like, oh, I don't actually care. This isn't my problem. I get a text from him and he was like, okay, I was lying in that conversation. So rewriting that belief for myself that men lie, which was the belief,
Mm-hmm.
took me from him lying to me, stretching a lie out 7 years to about 3 minutes. So we get off the phone, and about 3 minutes later, I get a text message from him while I'm in the process of trying to catch him in this lie, where he was like, okay, I lied. And I was like, what? That's all it takes? Just rewrite the script and it stops happening? Um, so I grasped that, but I'm still in the process of like unraveling and rewriting other
Mhm.
scripts in my world.
How
But I
so?
really do have a genius with that.
So tell me. So let me ask you. So it's like lingering shit. If you don't take care of it, the stench stays around.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, it must be cleaned up.
it has to be cleaned out. You
Yeah.
need an enema to just get all the shit out of your life. And if you don't choose that, then you keep on regurgitating the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, and most people think it, like particularly with relationships, most people don't look within. They look outside, which is
Yeah,
why you hear men ain't shit. All men cheat.
yeah,
No, your men cheat.
yeah,
Your men lie.
yeah,
Your men
yeah.
aren't loyal
And nobody
because
sees that they're the common denominator with that.
yes.
I
Yes.
somebody I was talking to somebody yesterday because I was talking about uh, having this conversation, and what I was saying is that most people also look for the other person to fulfill them. Uh, I
Yes.
heard somebody on Facebook say something, and it kind of irked me, and I didn't understand why. It says to become one. No, they don't. Because if the two people become one, then they give up who they are. Hint. That's how come motherfuckers have divorce rates so high because that becomes irritating. Because somebody's gonna give up themselves for the other person to be greater. It's very seldom, and what I'm saying, and this is the thing that I'm beginning to realize. I think healthy relationships to become aware. They don't become one. They just
Yeah.
become more aware. And I just want people to think about it. People like, oh my God, the unity of one. Well, yeah, I think that's what, because where do you give up your awareness that you keep on getting a relationship with a man cheating on you? Because if you're aware, you would know, you'd be like, like the moves that you made to make, this has to change. So
It's
my
not
friend,
just the awareness though,
say more.
because my aunt knew. My aunt had the awareness. She had so much awareness
Yeah,
that she literally fought with his mistress over him as they sat on a bar stool one night in a bar with my uncle in the middle and my aunt on one side and the mistress on the other side. They were aware.
yeah,
They just, she was so enamored by my uncle. And I'm making this face because I think he's useless. Y'all, feel free to tell him. It's fine.
yeah.
I I'm friends with my family. I don't know if they watch my stuff, but like he cheated on her the whole relationship. I heard he would leave home Friday night to go to work and come home Sunday evening broke in time to go to sleep and wake up Monday morning and go to work. I don't know why she needed him. I just don't understand it.
What happens is a piece of a person is better than having no person at all. Because the issue with it is that people don't want to be at one with themselves. Now, the only one touch you have is with
Yes.
you, creator. I wrote something on Facebook earlier this week, and I got it from KRS-One, and I agree about with this wholeheartedly. The only gun you need is this: God, universe, and nature. If you have that, then you don't find yourself chasing a piece of person because you find completion in yourself.
Yes.
And that gun will actually allow you to be at more ease. And when I say your aunt was, awareness to me without choice of doing something different is, I don't even know if it's awareness at that point.
It's so
I
here's
think
what
I think it's happening, but awareness. There's some steps in awareness that you do something with it. Like, oh, is this creating more ease in my living? Am I happy this way? And why am I arguing with a third person when it's between me and him? Why would I even argue with that person? Because if this is essentially us, This is between us, not between the three of us.
Right. So when we
And,
talk about the repair piece,
yes.
so um we come in whole. Like people think we come as a blank slate. We don't.
Hmm.
We come in whole. We have to learn how to walk and talk and communicate and all that jazz. And what happens is in the process of learning how to walk and talk and communicate and belong and all of the things that we are supposed to do developmentally over those first 12 to 26 years, um, we reject parts of ourselves.
Hmm.
We hide parts of ourselves in order to belong to our family, to our classmates, to society at large, right? So, my work for myself first
Hmm.
is to remember. It's to remember that I'm already spectacular. I'm already whole.
True.
I'm already magnificent.
All of it.
And when we forget those things, then we chase it outside of ourselves.
Boom.
We
That.
chase another human. We chase a bank account balance. We chase my most recent ex had a 70-inch TV in my living room. For why though? Because his inner child thought that big screen TVs meant wealth.
Hmm.
So he was chasing something outside of him. I mean, also fulfilling his inner child. Go ahead, have at it, enjoy yourself. But like, there are people who, no matter how much money they make, they're still unhappy
Right.
because they're chasing something outside of themselves. So, those patterns, the patterns of betraying, abandoning, and neglecting ourselves,
Hmm.
get set up over time as we try to figure out how to relate to our parents, how to relate to our siblings, how to relate to our classmates, how to relate to our teachers and the administration at school. If you go that route, very few of us are raised to be and remember exactly who we are. And I think the repair that needs to happen is coming back to I am a quiet person. I mean, I'm exuberant and enthusiastic, but I like a lot of space and I like my house to be quiet.
Yes.
I am not a traveler. I am a sit my ass in my house. Please come visit me. I will be the best hostess ever until it's time for you to go home because I like quiet kind of person. And I am best suited for somebody who respects that. Bonus points if he is also a let's sit our asses at home and read books and talk about them, listen to music on the turntable with the windows open. I will feed you because I like eating kind of person. And I have gone wrong relationally trying to fit with people who weren't good fits for me
Hmm.
so that I can belong to someone,
Ooh.
so that
Ooh.
I can have a person. And I abandoned and betrayed and neglected myself
You.
over and over and over again in pursuit of those things. That is the pattern, and the repair for that is to have my own back first and no matter what.
That.
And I think that the same is true for everybody. I think
Absolutely.
that all the problems that we ever have as humans come from us abandoning, betraying, and neglecting ourselves and not having our own back first.
Yeah. And I agree with you. Everything in this reality I shouldn't say this. Yes, I think a lot of things in reality keeps us from that. Like, what do you really like? It's like you're absolute. The older I got, I love my friends that are my friends, but I like that downtime. I'm writing this book, and in the book, I have some chapters about things that, like, if what do people know about me, you know, and how many of us don't allow other people to know who we are because we're so enapt what's the word so intrigued of we don't pull ourselves in, we pull other people in. And
Yeah.
part of the repair, so for example, yesterday at lunchtime my buddy Jesse came by and we did meditation for lunch, and that meditation was everything yesterday. Matter of fact, I'm going to tap into that energy because I had a rough morning this morning, but that energy was so I could do this morning. I guess one of the frustrating pieces for me, I'm segueing off here, and I was sharing with you earlier, is that I want time. I want to take back time for me of do nothing time. And it doesn't mean I'm not doing anything. It means I'm writing in my book, I'm doing my meditation, I'm looking at recipes, I'm gardening. And a lot of times, I think the repair of just, for me, the repair when it was spring and summer of being in the soil was repairing the molecules of my body and being, because there was a connection to nature. And I think that we preoccupy ourselves with noise and never turn down the noise to the point that we become deaf to being us. And therefore, for the rest of our lives, we're chasing somebody else instead of repairing restorative justice with self.
Or something else. Like I said, some people don't look for other people, they look for money, status.
Yeah, yeah, yes, and that's still at the core of, and so
Yeah.
the money and all that stuff won't make you. That's just like icing on a cake.
Yeah.
But if you have a bowl, I'm a person who cook and bake. You have a bowl of icing, frosting, whatever you want to call it. You can eat it as is, but it's so much more yummier when you have some substance that you put between it and on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it changes everything. And the question of it is that how long will people walk around without repairing that harm? I mean, doesn't I mean I ask myself, it's like how long could I actually live like that? And sometimes I find myself getting frustrated with me when I don't choose greater earlier.
You say
With
more about that.
like there's something today. Today's an interesting day for me. And at first I was like, am I off today? No, I'm not off. It's something that's it's something happening right now in my world that's requiring me to do some repair of something that okay, so here it is. I'm thinking out loud, y'all. It isn't always quite evident what it is. Sometimes you have to sit with it and it will come if you ask questions, if you make a way for it to come. It's like I'm gonna say this. There was a point on the planet where they built homes before air conditioning, that they built homes perfectly so the air could roll through the house and cool the house off. Now
Mm-hmm.
we just pop houses down anywhere without being connected to the earth. To do that, you would have to wait some time to look at how the wind, where the sun was, to take the optimal nature to benefit the house. That means you had to be patient. And in the process of being impatient, you might have been cold, you might have got wet, but within time, That went away with the security of the home that you built that was optimal for the setting of nature. We have to do that with repair to ourselves. Sometimes you want to rush in. And I think my Donna, my aunt Donna, who talks to me all the time about that, is she's a prime example of like working slowly on self. And there's bumps in the road, but you still are patient with yourself moving in the direction of that repair. And I'm gonna say something. I don't know if the repair is always finalized. I think the repair, as long as you're living, there's more repair to be done in different aspects of you. I don't think, for me, this is just me, I don't think you ever get to the point that I'm done,
I
because
agree.
life is ever, it's like the universe, it's expanding.
Yeah.
So my question with it would be, how what's greater to you, the repeat cycle or the repair?
I think a big reason that I wanted to have this conversation is because a lot of people don't realize that they are in a cycle. They think that life is happening to them.
Yeah, but how many of them are
And
doing repeat?
wait, say that again.
How many of them are actually in the repeat cycle instead of the repair cycle?
Well,
And let me ask this one question: how many people
most,
don't realize what the repeat cycle is because they're so far in it?
or you can't see it. So this is a really
Yeah.
interesting one, and I'm using dating again, but I also have a personal example that is not related to men. Imagine that. Um, so I'm getting warm in my bedroom. I'm like pulling up my yoga pants. Um,
Oh my.
and I'm always cold, y'all. So I was in this workshop, I was facilitating this workshop, and this woman was like, I don't care what I do. The moment I am intimate with a man, all hell breaks loose.
Hmm.
I don't care if I sleep with him on the first night or if I wait 6 months to sleep with him. The moment I sleep with him, all hell breaks loose.
Wow.
It didn't take me a crazy long time of asking her questions before we determined that her family is really well behaved out in public. But dear Lord, if you come to a holiday dinner. So she has taken this pattern of people being well behaved until you're intimate with them
Hmm.
and stitched that into her romantic relationship patterning and
Ouch.
programming. Yeah. So the thing to do there, and I don't know if she did anything about it because this was a workshop. We only had so much time. If I were to work one to one with her, I would help her unra- unravel that pattern on an energetic level because there
Hmm.
is an energy in her, there's a vibration to her that says, do this to me. And the universe is like, I got you. Um, and then we would work on it on a practical level. What I think happens with most humans is everybody goes to work on the practical level. My money is fucked. So, what I'm going to do is make more money. So now you are a billionaire and you still live paycheck to paycheck because you didn't resolve the problem. You didn't unravel and rewrite the pattern. You just have it at a grander scale. You are still in scarcity paycheck to paycheck vibration.
Mm.
So, for whatever reason, I had an unstable housing pattern where the kids and I lived in transitional housing, and then we couch surfing with three kids, fun times, for like 4 years until we were in our own space. And last year, when my ex was moving out, and I knew that I did not have the mental, emotional, or financial capacity to leave this house.
Hmm.
So I was just like, dear universe, I need a miracle. And it happened lickety split. It was so much ease. I didn't even have to submit an application. All I had to do was both of us had to sign a form saying he's off the lease. It's 100% my responsibility now,
Hmm.
and then went on with my life.
Hmm.
I realized in that moment that that was that pattern, that unstable housing pattern being rewritten.
Wow, that's
I
amazing.
also have a different relationship with money now, that I could pay this rent that feels exorbitant. It only feels exorbitant compared to my earning capacity up until now, but with great ease for the last 16 months.
Hmm.
Like, I have no problem writing that check.
Hmm.
But that took an unwriting of the not enough money pattern and an unwriting of the unstable housing pattern. And then the physical plane was like, yeah, I got you. Here, let's make this ease for you. And now I'm rewriting the things are hard pattern.
Wow, that
Yeah,
could be a whole nother show. Rewriting your future.
we could do that.
Yeah.
I've got some tools for that.
Yes. Wow. I'm
Bunch
just
of them
I'm in
actually.
amazed at that because I sit back and here's the thing that I want to say to people. As things are being repaired, take note of the subtle things that are being repaired so that you can see the advancement. Because what
Yeah,
happened is I'm doing this money workbook class and I'm sitting here and listening to what you're saying. And uh like I said, this morning was a weird morning for me. But today, before I finish the day out, I'm gonna go back and take note of all the things that have changed that I've been unaware of, or I thought of that not, it's not that I haven't been unaware of. Oh, I've not acknowledged that they've occurred. That acknowledgement gives you more space, and you go, oh wow, I did that. That happened. Oh, well, then there's something else that can happen. How many things do you let go uncounted, and you think there's no change when you're actually repairing? When you start
we,
changing, like when you say the money, when you sign that check and he left, you signed the paperwork and it changed. That was like acknowledgement. Hey, I'm doing something different. If
yeah,
you're willing to be that space, more of that can show up.
yeah.
And we forget it. I'm using me for example this morning. We forget it until you go back and like it's time for me when I get to I know I got to leave here, go back to the office and stuff and do some work, but before I leave my other office I will actually acknowledge all the things that I've accomplished, all the things that have moved in my direction, so that the universe can see that I am grateful for that has occurred.
Look at us taking our own medicine.
Yes.
I'm going to talk a little
Okay.
bit more about that.
Yeah.
So, life. I'm gonna pull a scripture from. No, I'm not. I'm gonna pull a saying from the Bible because I didn't read it, y'all. Did not read it from cover to cover and memorize the scriptures. Um, but ask and you shall receive. We are such a microwave society at this point that we think that that ask and ye shall receive is supposed to be like that.
Right.
But, and we also think that it's only for the positive. Every word that comes out of your mouth and goes through your head is a prayer. You don't have to monitor every single thought that you think and like suck them all back and try to stay positive. That's not what we're saying here. What am I glitching?
No, you're fine.
Okay, cool. What I'm saying, we're going to go a little bit over. John's not turning into a pumpkin because it's
Yes.
actually Thursday. But what I'm saying is when I say, and I talked about this last week in the recording, when I say my meds aren't working, I've tried everything, nothing's working, I'm still allergic. Life says, okay, nothing's working. Here's some more of nothing
Nothing.
working.
Yes. That.
when John says, "Oh my God, I don't know if there's enough money," and he's feeling like there's not enough money, there's probably not going to be enough money. Oh my
Yeah.
God, life
Yes.
is like, here you go,
Yeah.
not enough money. I am living in a really weird time right now where I do not honestly know how my bills get paid. I really don't. But I pay my rent on time every month with great ease.
Wow.
And it is because I have decided that there is always more than enough money. Life takes really good care of me.
Hmm.
I have so much evidence that life takes really good care of me. It would be ridiculous for me to think otherwise.
Yeah.
When I lived in transitional housing and I had a curfew and I couldn't be in my apartment from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, and I would get home after work and I would have no money and no gas in my car, I somehow had the money and the gas in my car the next day to leave the house with these kids. After enough of them times, I was like, I'm fine. No matter what it looks like, I'll be
Yeah.
fine. Last year, when my system kept saying $12,000, and I was like, I don't know where my whole $12,000 is going to come from, but I'm going to ask for $12,000 because that's the number I keep hearing. I had no idea my tax refund and the stimulus. I didn't know we were getting another stimulus check.
Hmm.
I didn't know that those things together was going to be $12,000. But I promptly went, "Oh, look, the rent for the year. Thank you, universe.
Yeah. Ask and you shall receive.
Ask and ye shall receive."
That's the biggest thing. Most people
Yeah.
aren't willing to ask, even in the repair. If you want to
But
stop the repair,
also,
if you want to stop the repair, start asking questions about what is it look like to be repaired.
yes. I also want to, though, elaborate on the asking because we think that we're only asking in the positive.
Mm,
But when you say there isn't enough, you're asking.
yes, and the yes,
When you say men are trash, you're asking. When you say women are gold diggers, you're asking.
yeah. So here's a thing on money for you guys that I use that I just remembered this morning because I was feeling kind of crunchy. I'll have more money, please.
I'll have the money now,
Please.
please.
I'll have the money now, please. I have the money now, please. I have the money
Yeah.
now, please. And I know that sounds corny. And at the end of this session, I know segment, I know you guys what use that to. I'll have whatever. I'll have more joy, please.
I'll have more joy.
I'll have more ease, please.
I will have healthy relationships, please.
I'll have healthy relationship, please. I have more sex, please. Whatever that looks like, ask and allow the universe. And a lot of times I'm gonna say this because I know some people are like, this is me. When I talk about universe and God, I'm talking about interchangeable. That's me. So I want people to be like, because I know some. We were on the week last week, and some guy hit me up, be like, "You don't talk about God a lot," because if that we can't, you know something, that'll be another segment. God. I know people are like, "Oh shit, here it comes." Yes, you know what God spells backwards, right? Dog. Kind of interesting in the English language, but anyway. I think I do need to get going now.
So do I have another client.
Client. And we won't, this will be a recording for this coming week. The
Yes.
following week, we have a surprise. We're going to be together finally. You know, I've never met my sister in person. So we're going to go to a class together. And I'm telling her right now, I want a bar exchange with you. So putting that out there right now. Uh,
Okay.
and we're going to do a live class together. And it will be, we don't know if it's going to be recording or live. We might record it or we might go live and give it to you guys, but it won't be Monday. So we'll put that one back up on Monday too. So yes, I'm so excited I get to meet her in person. One of my, like, you know, once in a while the universe sends people in your life that you know multiple lifetimes and they come back and they say, hello, here I am. Lila's that person. Thank you, my sister.
Same, same.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time, you guys be kind to each other. Peace.
Thank y'all for staying over.
Yes.